Like, what's his favorite movie? Does Vince McMahon like pizza? What's Vince McMahon's favorite pizza topping? Like, this stuff's really interesting to me because everything else that he wants out there is already out there.
Yeah.
So obviously, Vince, I would love to interview Christopher Nolan.
Oh, that's a good one.
I am blown
Genius.
away, right? Like, every film that he has is a masterpiece. And I'm also fascinated by his obsession with time.
Oh yeah, every single movie.
Every single movie, he plays with time in a completely different way. Like, starting from like Memento to what he did with Inception, Interstellar, even Dunkirk, the way that, like, I'm fascinated by all of that. So I would love a conversation with him. I don't know if that might happen with Oppenheimer. He has a new movie coming out. Yeah, let's put that out into the world.
That one's
Christopher Nolan.
That one's way more in reach. Do directors typically? I know Tarantino definitely is a part of all the press stuff.
Yeah. If you're big enough, like I did Ron Howard recently.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah. So like, yeah, if you're a well-known director, you're for sure doing the press junket. And also, like, I have such a massive respect for Tom Brady and the fact that he's 45, still playing at the level that he's playing at and completely changing the game, breaking his own records. Like, I would love to be able to sit down with him and just be like, dude, what makes you tick?
Yeah, that's a good one too. I don't know how long he's going to continue playing too. Because like he came back this year and it kind of upended his personal life from what we've seen. You know, like you think you want to win. Like when you go out, you want to win one more time.
He's not slowing down.
Yeah.
Like I saw this really interesting YouTube video where it was showing other people that had come out of retirement and like how, it wasn't great.
Yeah.
He came out of retirement and sure they didn't have a winning season, but he had a pretty great season. And it's not like he's slowing down. So,
and they're in too. Like,
yeah,
he could easily run the table and win another one and then hang it up.
He could, yeah.
We've seen it happen before.
So I guess we'll see what happens. But I wouldn't bet against Tom Brady.
So those are your main three then: Vince, Tom.
It changes all the time. Like there's a whole bunch of other. I'd love to have a real conversation with Oprah. I've interviewed her briefly on a red carpet, but I'd love to actually like dig in deep with her. Joe Rogan's fascinated me for the same reason that Chris Jericho is fascinating. Like he's found all the things that he's passionate about, and then he's just really good at them. Mm-hmm. He loves cage fighting, loves mixed martial arts. He's a commentator for the UFC. Incredible.
Yeah.
He loves comedy. Now he's been a comedian for 30 plus years. He loves telling stories and hearing stories and having conversations. Top podcast in the world. Like that's really interesting to me.
Oh my God. Do you have any plans to do any because Rogan is someone who's reinvented himself going from Fear Factor, just doing his, like what we're doing now.
Yeah.
You know? Like, have you ever dreamt about doing a specific show with like a specific niche where you're doing something? Like I know they just came out with Barmageddon on USA Network, like something like that where like you bring in celebrity guests and you're playing games or you're doing something, or like even like what Sean Evans does with Hot Ones, like have you ever wanted to do something like that?
100%. But it's just so difficult because the way that TV is now, it's shifted so much. Like most TV hosts now are former athletes or they're actors or there's somebody who has some sort of name recognition. Mm-hmm. And it's just difficult now unless you create the show. And I would certainly love to create a show like that. But if I could like look at TV right now and go, I want that job, I would have loved to host Amazing Race. Like, I think that show is fascinating and it's been on for 100 years now.
Yeah, forever.
Yeah. If you could get in, if you were one of those like old school hosts that got in on The Bachelor, Survivor, Amazing Race, like you're set. You're set. That doesn't really exist anymore. So I think now it's more of like, it's the Mr. Beast model. Mm-hmm. It's the Mr. Beast model of like, all right, I think this is a really interesting show. I'm going to create it myself and I'm going to put it out there. It's kind of what Hot Ones did.
Mm-hmm. And you just become that guy forever.
That's it.
You're that. Like, and I could see you doing like The Bachelor, like Jeopardy, any one of those shows,
I would love to.